Listen.
Shall I move it?
If you want.
I'm gonna.
You know you've seen these professional podcasts?
Not us.
This is one. Where's she going?
I'm going under.
All right. Okay. Ah dear. Hello.
This is our first podcast.
You'd never guess, would you? Everything's a bit twisted.
Yeah, I know. I can't see it from here.
Right.
Is that better?
That's fine, yeah.
Is it level?
Now he wants twisting that way a little bit.
Which way?
That way, yeah. That's fine, that's not bad. Wants to come this way a bit now, all of it. What for what? That's it, fine. That's fine. Got no upper, we've got no wild. That's it. Hello everybody, keep going. Afternoon everyone. This is good, this. I've got all sorts of comments coming up, but I can't see what we're doing.
Yeah?
We're just losing a little bit of wild, that's all. That's it. That's fine. I've got a funny feeling they're going to keep moving. The longer the podcast goes,
yeah.
And then your top one wants twisting anti-clockwise a bit more. Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay.
Right, we've got cats, we've got people under desks. We are so professional. Oh, right here, there.
It's a lot.
This is a lot.
This is a lot.
That one's good.
That one's lovely. Okay.
Sheila's there. That's
right.
fine.
We should be on Subscribers Live on every single platform currently. Do you want the comments up as well?
I think we're best just so that people know we're here.
Right, so you've got the comments here on this one.
So that's Twitch.
Yes.
Hello everybody on Twitch. Hello everybody on Facebook. Hello everybody on
I'm going to increase the size
TikTok.
on this as well. This is our first podcast, so you're going to have to bear with us. We are going to have a lot of teething issues because
We've got lots to do.
We've got lots to do, and that's cool too. Right, that's a lot bigger text now as well, so it should be a bit more readable. Is that okay? And then I'm going to... This is what I do for mine. I window this out.
Oh, I see, right.
There you go.
Well, that's quite good, isn't it?
Yes, right,
Yeah.
so let me get us up on Facebook as well. Right, so this one, we're going to start at the very beginning.
Oh, wait.
Well, do you want to sort of explain what the podcast is going to be first?
Well, yeah. What was that? We actually... it's going to be all sorts. It's going to be bedlam.
We're going to try, really, and answer some of your guys' most asked questions. We're going to talk you through how it started, where it started, some of our most controversial things, some of our least controversial things, good bits, bad bits, everything in between, really. So it's going to be one of those things where we're going to definitely learn as we go and, I don't know, talk a lot, I guess.
Well, we get asked a lot of questions about all sorts, and it's a very varied place that we work at and operate here, and there's lots of people involved. There's lots of animals involved, and so we do get asked quite a lot of questions. So we thought, right, let's have a go at doing a couple of things, and that is professional social media stars. Is that what we are? I don't think you saw the beginning.
Not sure I'd say that.
You didn't see the beginning.
But we'll try our best.
But what the idea is, so we're going to have a talk, and what we'll do is, this is, I mean, by all means, you're more than welcome to ask questions, but the chances are we might not be able to answer them, because we are going to be just generally talking about what we're doing, okay, and where we are. And there's going to be cats all over the place. Cats are going to stop us and cause.
We've even got some buttons that we've got to figure out how to connect to everything.
Oh, I see, right. What's the Darren Brown one?
Oh. Spooky.
We've even got a Darren Brown one. How good is that? Can you hear that? Oh, right, let's do a few tests first.
Can you hear us?
Can everybody?
Can everybody?
That's what I hear. Excuse me with my nose. I've got a cat hair up my nose. And I can't sneeze it out. So let's just make sure, can everybody... I'm going to talk in here, you can't see me if it's not connected. But it looks good,
well, don't do that because they can't see you on TikTok if you do.
I'm not worried if you can't see me, there's not much to see, as long as you can hear me. Right, can everybody hear and see us? Let's have a look. I just want to make sure we're getting some kind of response from
I actually don't know whether we're on Subscriber Live on TikTok.
Why?
Because I know how many subscribers we've got on TikTok.
Right.
And that's not the number of them.
Oh, I see, right.
I can see the number from it.
But it did say subscribers
it did,
on the bottom, didn't it?
We live
Right,
and learn.
let's have a look. Yes,
we'll get
sound
better.
and visual, good. Hello, Nana Sue.
Wonderful.
Good.
Amazing.
You can hear us, that's good. So, right, just so you know what's happening, the
Yeah.
camera's there.
Yes.
So if you see me looking like I'm, we have parrots come. What's happening up there?
It's telling us ignore it, don't worry.
We have parrots that come in here that we say stargaze. And when we say they stargaze, they like the red. I'll look like that because I'm looking everywhere. Because I can see cameras everywhere, so I'm going to be using that. So let's just have a look. So, yep, all good on
Wonderful.
Twitch.
That's fine.
Are we all good on Facebook?
We're all good on
What
Facebook.
have you got? Have you got Facebook?
We're all good on Facebook. All
And then
good.
TikTok, hopefully we're good on there.
We will get better.
But it'll get better.
We'll start integrating chats together as well, so we'll be able to see all the chats all at once, which will be much better.
What, can you do that?
You can, yeah.
You're joking?
No.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that idea. So what we're going to do is, this is our little podcast room.
Yes.
Believe it or not, it's actually set out for it.
And it's been set up for about a year.
Yeah, it's been set up for about a year.
Nearly over a year.
We had some brilliant help from, I'm not allowed to mention his name
No,
because he's very private.
he is. But we had some lovely help from
And
them. And we really appreciate it.
thank you. Let's have it. Trial and effort. Trial and error. Right, so, I've got to get a little bit further forward.
First thing that I kind of want us to talk about is, where did you get started? Like, can we talk about the beginning of the park? Why are we here?
All right, so, how far? No, it weren't, Bob.
Let's start at the very beginning. We've
Oh
got loads of podcasts we can do. Let's start at the very beginning.
So how long is this one going to last? I mean, how far do you want me to go on this? Because obviously, you know what I'm like. When I start talking, these will fall asleep. These will be fast asleep. So where do we get to? To what point do we get to opening the park?
Well, just start from the beginning and we'll see how far we get.
Okay, right. Starting from the beginning. So, oh my lord. So we'll go. How do we get to this? Well, who am I? I've always been an animal. Who am I? I've always been an animal person.
You have?
Always been an animal fanatic. I always had this strange mental thing that I thought animals liked me. No, I did.
I have the same reflection.
No, I did. I thought animals liked me. So my dad always just said to me, "The Steve will bite you," because I used to think every dog.
99% of them do as well.
And so I did get bit a lot when I was young. But then I got a job when I was about 12. I always wanted to be a vet.
Okay.
Because a vet was really the only. I mean, when you were young, there's only a vet or a zookeeper.
Yeah.
So when you're at school, what do you want to be? Nobody said I want to work in a pet shop. You're either a vet or and I wanted to be a vet.
Sorry, the tree move.
The tree move. It's not really a professional setup, so don't
It's
panic.
fine, it's
We're getting close. So I wanted to be a vet when I was young, and I got some bad news when I was about. What's that?
Can I also just say, if there are any of my lot who are currently watching, and who could, if possible, I'm really talking to to a very specific amount of people. If you could clip it, that would be great, because I don't have a clip button right now, and I would really appreciate it if you could. But don't worry if you can't.
Have we got on that can clip it?
We've got a couple of people that could clip.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to be a vet.
Only if you want
Okay.
to.
I always wanted to be a vet.
Yes.
And
What stopped you?
oh, it's so disappointing. Something that I knew, but I didn't know it would stop me from being a vet. And that's being colourblind.
Yeah. Doesn't help, does it?
Well, no, because even now, when our vets come now, and when we have to do things, and we've got something, I don't know if we're operating on an animal or something, and he and our vet will turn around and say, well, look, you can see how it's discoloured there, brown, can't you? And I'm looking and thinking, where's the brown? What do you mean discoloured? I thought all blood were red, and obviously it changes colour. So I learnt very quickly that I can't be a vet.
Was that an actual requirement? Do you think it's still a requirement?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
And an electrician. So
Yeah,
I couldn't be
and
electrician.
pilots.
Couldn't be a pilot. My brother he tried to get in the army. He couldn't get in the army because he got hay fever.
Blimey.
Because they obviously only have wars on grass.
Well, it's a bit rubbish if you sneeze.
Oh, if in your trench, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine it? I think that Nichols is there. So he went the other way. He went, there's no grass up in the sky.
No, that's
So he
true.
went to the
yeah.
RAF. and he spent his entire life there.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years, 40 years, something like that, but he spent a long time. So anyway, what are things that you learn for you new guys?
If they're not new, none of them are new.
Oh, aren't they not new? I thought
No.
I ticked, alright, so okay.
Oh
so
wait, TikTok might be on the public at the moment. I'm unsure.
Right, we don't know who's seen us yet. But
However, like Facebook and Twitch, all subscribers.
All right.
So
you know
you know us.
I go all over the world. So basically, so I knew I couldn't be a vet. So the next thing was, right, do I really want to be a zookeeper?
Didn't appeal to you?
No, a zookeeper.
Tends to be very unforgiving.
I don't think I saw enough zoos.
No, I mean there is that as well. There's to be fair, I don't think I've ever really gone into this particular profession. I've
No.
never directed myself here. I've just kind of landed here, and I don't think that one, zookeepers get enough credit for what they do, and two, it's talked about enough either. I don't think it's one of those jobs that people talk about when you're at school at all.
No, because I think people look at I think the trouble is nobody actually knows what a zookeeper does.
No.
And a zookeeper, they just think, because when you see it on TV, all a zookeeper does is go and feed an animal.
Yeah.
And they see the odd bit of cleaning out, but it's only set up for it. It's not like the hard work that they have to do.
Yeah.
So I never actually thought about being a zookeeper. It was something that never actually entered my head. But I wanted to be with animals. And so if I think about zoos when I was young, the only memory I have of a zoo is, and this is going to sound so stupid, we went to Bellevue. Now, Bellevue used to be in Manchester.
Right.
So it was like basically Manchester Zoo.
Okay.
I like to get Blackpool Zoo.
Right.
So I went there, and I remember, if anybody's been, please let me know, tell me I'm telling the truth, and I ain't dreamt this.
You're making it up.
So I don't know if I've told this story so many times, I might just be talking rubbish. But no, I remember you used to look down a big wall at some crocodiles.
Okay.
I remember that. And then I remember you used to be able to get close to the elephants, and you used to be able to feed them a bun.
Nice.
Right,
Cool.
yeah.
A bun.
A bun, yeah.
Like
a
bread
proper
bun?
bun. No, a cake, like what they call these cakes that people have now. You know, little cakes that Sandra makes a lot of. Cupcakes. So they had like little cupcakes that were just bun.
Cupcakes.
Yeah, but they didn't have the cream on the top. They were just the actual cake itself. So
That was very loud, wasn't it?
So it was just the cake. And you'd feed it, and the elephant would take. Obviously, we're talking
A long time ago.
50 odd
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
So our knowledge of what animals should eat, I
It's
don't think it
changed
ever.
dramatically.
I don't think buns would ever put on the list
No,
anyway. But do
no.
that. But so we did that. But what I actually genuinely remember is they had some little machines that you used to put money in, and you had to twist things to line them up. And I won a little sachet of shampoo. And that's what I remember, the sachet of shampoo.
Nothing else.
Can't remember any of the animals.
Just the sachet
Just
of
the sachet.
shampoo.
And I played with this sachet all the time. And my dad kept saying, carry on, and it'll burst.
And he did.
He did.
Did it?
You were right. Where did it burst?
Where?
In me.
No.
Right, for you guys
Did
that
it
don't...
actually?
Yeah, I've done it twice.
Where did you put it in your ear?
Right, obviously, I need to... There's going to be some...
Oh
in these
my
podcasts,
God.
there's going to be some confessions. Right. Anything that fits in my ear
Goes in it.
goes in it.
We have been witness to this. It's actually quite scary. You have an obsession.
I've got a horrible addiction. A horrible addiction of what it's pointless telling you. I mean, I've had so many things in my ears, and I've been in trouble with the doctors.
You have,
and
yeah.
I've
You've
had
been
to go and
told many
see-
times.
I've had to go and see ear specialists, and it's not good. It's not
Why
good.
did you put this shampoo in your
Right, so the shampoo itself you could roll up
Right.
because it was only.
And
it
you
was
put
just
it in
a
your ear
sachet.
for why?
It felt nice.
You are joking.
No, it just felt nice, and you go into like a trance.
And
know,
what?
like-
It exploded in
and
the
I squeezed it toward. Now, fortunately, it was only shampoo, so it really all it did was wash my ears out. It did it's actually do it, just wash my ears out. However, on an important side, so please don't do this. If you
Well,
guys
don't
at
ever
home,
suggest anyone puts anything in their ears, just as
I had
as
to
a
go to see a
warning.
doctor, and I said to my doctor, I said, mate, I can't stop doing it. And he says, you will cause yourselves problems. And I said, what can I put in me ear? And he says, nothing smaller than your elbow. And I thought, oh.
Accurate, yes.
And that's accurate, but I just honestly, the worst one I ever did, and this is something that was really, really bad, is when we was young, very, very young, people that smoked had lighters that was petrol lighters. And it literally, you know, like there's a name.
I'm scared about where this is going.
No, it's they flick them up and go like that, and the light. Well, in the bottom, there's a name for them. I bet somebody's not Zippo. See, that's it.
Right.
Thank you. So Zippo lighters, they had them, and you used to have to fill them with petrol, but it was like cotton wool inside it.
Okay.
So you used to go to the shops and buy, I think, it were about 5p, like a little. I don't know what shape it weren't square, but it was more like it's got 4 sides, but one side was elongated. And I don't know what colour petrol is, but they were like a yellowy colour, and it was clear plastic. And what you did is you snip the top, and you just filled your Zippo lighter.
Okay.
And that would last for, however long it lasts, a month or something like that. So we was going to the cinema, and it was a Saturday morning. And my dad says, right, while we're getting dressed for the cinema, Steve, just nip over to the shops and get me whatever, and get me some petrol for my lighter.
Okay.
So I got one of these things. And on my way home from the shop, I was looking at the end of this sachet, and I
Please
thought,
tell you didn't do that.
I did. I thought this is perfect. This will fit, and it went in, and it fit, and it sent me up there. I was in planet gone,
Planet in.
and then it burst, and it was petrol. I think at that point the entire people.
Does it hurt?
Oh, unbelievable! It was like pouring acid. Because you imagine petrol is acidic, and it's gone into wax.
I don't think I've ever touched petrol before,
Petrol
so
itself is just unbelievably thin.
Okay.
But it is very, very strong. It's potent. You use petrol
So
to
what
get.
did you do?
I made
Did
a
you
loud.
run home?
I made a loud noise. And my dad heard the loud noise, so he come meeting me, panicking like mad, proper panicking.
God.
Wondering what's happening. He thought somebody had hit me or something like that, so he come running down, and he's you know, you've never seen a mood change as quick. And he came down, Steve, are you all right? What's the matter? What's that? Steve, what's wrong? And then you know, my face was saying, you're gonna be mad in a minute, Dad. And I showed him the half a thing of petrol. So that ear's stinging, and this ear's swelling from where he hit me. And then grabbed hold of the back of my neck and said, so he had to rush me to hospital.
Oh my God.
So the others had to go to the cinema while he rushed. Could you imagine being sat with your dad, who was unbelievably mad, in hospital? And like every nurse that came said, this will not hurt. And my dad's like that, it better do. Because I'm missing Flash Gordon.
Oh my God.
So,
did they flush your ear out?
I don't know what they did. I think I collapsed. I think the pain was so bad, I think I just went out. And so whatever they did, they washed it, and I came back and I was back to normal again. 2 days later, I got a grip in it. I'm terrible.
Oh my
I really
word,
am terrible.
you really are terrible.
I'm not very
Right,
good.
anyway, how does that relate to?
Alright, so
Smooth that out of the way.
I end up. Oh, so that's at Bellevue. So
Yes, at Bellevue.
So I knew I wasn't going to be a zookeeper. I didn't really want to be a zookeeper.
And you couldn't be a vet.
I couldn't be a vet. So I did the next best thing when I left school, and I worked at Abattoir.
Right, okay.
On the other side
On
of the
the other
cancer.
side.
Totally on the other side. But when I was at the Abattoir, my interest in animals became even more.
Yeah.
Because the 2 things we've got is, you obviously, forget about what the Abattoir is, but we've got live animals,
Yep.
which I used to go and see every single day. But also you've got these unbelievably knowledgeable experts. And a butcher, believe it or not, is when they're talking biology and they're
Yeah.
talking your body and an
Well, they
animal's
have to know
body.
where to cut all the lines and
Everything.
everything to get the pest.
Because every
cuts,
piece of
don't they?
meat
So-
has got a seam, and
Yeah.
they know what, and the things that we saw like an abscess. Once had to work on a side of beef, and they were this. I'm not kidding. It was like that, a big lump. And I said to the Frank Sylvester, they called him,
Oh,
Master
my
Butcher,
God.
Frank Sylvester,
Frank Sylvester.
little guy, bald head. He didn't like me, but he was one of the best butchers going.
Right.
He was lovely. And he knew what he was talking about, but he was very knowledgeable, and he
Okay.
used to really tell us. And I said, "What's this, Frank?" And he said, "Oh, come here, I'll show you." And I said, "That's an abscess." An abscess? What's like one of them
So
that
what
you
did
get in
it-
your mouth? He said, "Yep, that's literally an abscess that's just come from underneath its shoulder blade there under its skin."
And it looks like
I would say a melon, but
what,
it was like that shape, a melon, but it was like it was solid, but you could move it, you could move it. Now, what we didn't know about abscesses, another chap who will be watching this at some point called Rudy, and both me and him worked at the abattoir, and we both fell for this. So in them days you could get away with quite a lot. And he said, like, right, he says, what you can do with this is blah blah blah, and this is, cows don't really display pain, so you don't know it's got an abscess there. Cows aren't very good at displaying pain unless it's absolutely extreme. So he said if you slice it like that, and he just sliced it the tiniest bit, and he says, and now you'll be able to smell it. And we both bent down to smell it, and he went like that, and the thickest salad cream.
That's so not right.
Hit us in the face, and I think it lasted for about a month. But you learn what an abscess was.
I bet that's not under HR at the moment, is it?
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
No, I don't think you're allowed to do that.
No, I
at the
think some
moment.
other thing. So anyway, so I ended up working at the abattoir, and the knowledge really built. It really did build, because there were so many things that you just won't believe. And so there was I don't know, I remember these names. There was a top inspector there, and the abattoirs are very strict, and they have to have an inspector on site. And the top inspector called Les, and he knew I was fascinated in animals because I used to ask him lots of questions. And he once shouted at me and said, come round the back and I'll just show you in our labs. And I'll not go into all the ins and outs, but basically when beasts, as they call them, go through an abattoir, they can't be pregnant. Okay. Yeah. And every now and then one is. Yeah. But they don't know it. Because once, I know it sounds daft, but once an heifer becomes pregnant, it's then called a cow.
Right. Yes. Okay.
So a bullock is one until it's actually being castrated, and so that's a bullock. And then if you leave its testicles on, it's a bull. So yeah, so all the ones that come to us.
You'd think it would be the opposite way round.
Yeah, it's a bull. So a bull is the one that inseminates cows, and a bullock is one that's.
What technically bulls would inseminate heifers then, right?
Yeah, to turn
them into a cow. Yeah. How complicated.
See, so anyway, and he shouted at me and said, Steve, come and have a look at this. So I went round to the lab, and I thought they were playing, because they were there were lots of jokes going off in an abattoir. There's lots of people, and on the counter was like 3 cows, perfect cows, but about that big. So one about that big, one about that big, and one about that. But I mean, perfect babies, but absolutely perfect. And like looking at, and I thought that they were plastic, and I thought they were thinking,
we're having Steve on here.
They're sucking Steve in here again. So I'm look, they got tiny little whiskers on the face. The only difference is the white was yellow, and the black was blue, which is why I thought, these are not Jersey cows, blue and yellow, of course they are. So then he started telling me, and he said, right, these are 3 that's come through today. Yeah. And when they took them through because the stomach's all going to a certain place, when they took them through, they found them, so they bring them up and we have to check them. Then that meat then has to be downgraded, because it has different hormones going through it. Yeah. So, and he showed me these 3 cows, and I was absolutely gobsmacked. I bet I spent, well, I used to have to get up about 4:30 in the morning, catch the 5 o'clock bus, and then literally, it was the worst place it was the best place in the world to work, but it was the worst place to get there, because I had to catch 2 buses. Right. And when I used to have to walk the last 2 miles, everybody was just waking up. I used to hate people, because I'd be walking up freezing, having travelled since 4:30, 4:45, and people just get up and I was thinking, I hate you.
In the warm in
your house. I hate you. So we literally, but because we started at that time, we finished early. Yeah. So we finished about as long as it weren't Christmas time, in normal time, we finished about 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Blimey.
Yeah. Okay. So we'd start at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and finish at 12, something like that. And so I asked him if I could go around after dinner, after they were all going on. He said, yeah. Must have spent 3 hours just prodding and pulling and checking and looking at, and he was gobsmacked at my interest it was just amazing. So
it is interesting, and it is on the other end of the scale really important, because you learn so much more by dissecting in a sense.
Yeah, I think that, and also you learn the bad things. Yeah. And it's like there's not many car sellers that know anything about cars. No. They know what's on the book. Yeah. But if you go to our garage, a mechanic, he knows everything about it. So it's fascinating to see that side of it, and so that I went down that avenue of not a job working with animals. It was a job that I could do because my education wasn't the best education in the world.
How many times did you go to school, Steve?
Not often.
Not often.
So let's put it away. On my, we used to, I don't know if you still get it, we used to get leaving certificates, and on my leaving certificate, I don't know how many there were, but everybody has to put a comment, and some of them actually put, didn't know him. Honestly. Didn't
Do you
know
still
him.
have it?
I don't know, I don't think so, no.
Oh.
Didn't know him. And then there was one or two that put, could have achieved so much.
And look at you now.
Yeah, don't know him. So it was a way. It was a way into work.
Yeah.
Because I got no education. I didn't take one exam, and I'm definitely an advocate for don't take an exam.
No, you definitely should do your education.
Do your
You
education.
should take
Do your
exams.
exams. I think everybody watching this is at that point.
Well, on the other end of the scale, I've got the most education that you could have up to a certain point.
Yep.
So, I don't mean.
And we're both in the same place.
Well, you're doing better than me.
Not necessarily. I'm just older.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway, so I ended there, and then I never lost my fascination for animals. I worked at the RSPCA. I used to volunteer at the RSPCA, and I used to get. Think you know this?
No.
Yeah, I used to volunteer at
I
the
was
RSPCA.
saying yeah, as in like yeah, I know that, and I don't.
Yeah, I used to volunteer at the RSPCA. And I used to go down because obviously when you worked at the Abattoir, you didn't work Saturdays and Sundays. You only worked Monday to Friday.
Right.
And so Saturday morning, no matter how many times I'd been to the nightclub, if I could, I'd shoot down to the local RSPCA and help them clean out and sort the dogs and everything. But I did that when I was young as well, when I was 14, 15. That was my way
Did
in.
you really?
Yeah, I used to go down and help and volunteer at the RSPCA. Scotland Street in Sheffield. Used to love it. That when you're walking down, all you could hear is the dogs barking, and I knew every dog loved me, and every dog were going to try to bite me. But I thought that as a sense of love. And the guys there that used to work there used to think I used to love being with the dogs.
Yeah.
And I used to think there used to be somebody called, can't remember what they called who had the dogs.
I've just realised something we have to fix.
What's that?
It says Wild Conversations, only for us.
Does it?
Well, it looks like that for them.
Oh, it looks like milk tray to me, yeah. So it's the other way around,
It's
isn't
the
it?
other way around.
I thought you were going to flip it.
I did.
Alright,
I've not flipped it on that one though, or that one.
right.
Oops. We'll do that next time.
Don't worry,
Okay,
we'll do
never
that. Typical mirrored Jess, see? So we should do
My
that.
bad.
So I used to work at the RSPCA. I used to volunteer at the RSPCA. No, we can't turn that around, so forget about it. You see what you're trying to look at?
Can we flip it?
How long will it take for it to turn the wall round? I recommend volunteering at RSPCA for happiness. Well, it was just...
It was a good way in to something on the other end of the scale of what you're already doing.
Yeah, and it was also something to be like... It's really difficult to explain to people, but I thought that the animals knew what I was saying. Honestly, I know.
You still do.
So I used to go to in Sheffield because I used to live in the town centre. We literally lived less than a mile from the town centre, and they had a place called Fitzallen Square, which is like a poor man's Trafalgar Square, just in Sheffield. This tiny little place where everybody used to meet, and all the buses and taxis, and obviously there were a lot of pigeons there.
Yeah.
And when we used to go to the markets in them days, my mum and dad would go to the markets, and I'd say, "I'll hang about here until you come out," and I used to sit there and talk and get the pigeons to come and sit on my knee and get close to me, and I'd pick one and think, "I'll get him there like a blue checkered pigeon. I'll get you, don't worry, I'll get you." Yeah. And I'd be talking and throwing bits of bread, and then I realised that this is everybody's knee, but it were me, so I'd done it. And my dad used to have my own pigeon, Snowy. He used to fly around the flats.
Yep.
I used to live in a big block of flats, and he used to fly around the flats. So I had Snowy, he was quite cool as well. So I'd always had this. I was with animals at all times, and but then obviously something happens naturally. You grow up a little bit, and responsibility takes over.
Yep.
Or your mum says, "I need board."
Oh yeah.
And that pushes you.
Yeah.
That pushes you a little bit. And I thought, oh, I might best earn some money because she wants some now. And I went through probably a spell of a good few years where there was nothing in animals I could do.
Yeah.
I still loved animals. I still went to see animals, and especially parrots. I got into parrots at a relatively young age, about 23, 24.
What was the first parrot that you saw?
I saw quite a few parrots. We were very lucky again because I used to live in these were some really big pet shops in Sheffield, and they always sold different parrots. Minor birds were more popular then than parrots.
Really?
Minor birds were very popular.
Because they're quite rare now.
They were quite rare, and the thing they didn't know about minor birds is everything they know they only learn for the first 2 years. After 2, they don't learn anything else. And and then they had very high pitched noise. One of the things that we never saw, we didn't realise, we obviously we know now, is they're liquid defecators. So when they go to the toilet, it comes out as liquid.
Yeah.
We didn't see that. We just saw this lovely big blackened bird that was sat there, glossy. Never saw it go to the toilets. So obviously the first time I got one, I just got diarrhea for ages. Didn't realise they were liquid. Anyway, so I was and I was about 21, 22 when I first started looking at parroty type birds.
Yeah.
And although I had no education, I was quite.
So what were you working as at 20?
At 21, I was a builder.
You were a builder.
Yes.
So you switched from the abattoir.
Yeah. So what my jobs were, so that everybody knows, it's no secret, and you'll see it in the book.
The incoming book.
I'll just put a little book here on the side. So I worked at this is a brilliant one. You'll love this one. Nothing to do with animals. I got a job at a place called Broad Street Trade Warehouse.
Okay.
And we sold bathroom suites. Okay. Right.
Right.
All I was a big, muscly, strong lad. I had no knowledge.
Is this before or after the abattoir?
This is before. This is when I was about 15 and a half, 16. Just
right.
Okay. Because I started school. I started work before I should have officially left school. And I was a big, strong, young lad. And they said, right, all we need is somebody in the warehouse to carry bathroom suites around.
Okay.
Right. Sounds easy. Go back to when I was 16, so 1975, 76.
They're heavy, Steve.
Well, it weren't that about how heavy they were. It's more, they had some really unusual colours in them days. And what did we talk about?
No.
I'm colourblind.
Did you pick the wrong colours out?
Every day.
Oh no.
So in them days they were going
That's
through.
a really heavy thing to mistake the colour of.
And you know where they were? 5 floors up.
No.
You didn't have no mobile phones then, and all you could do is, here are Fred, Steve. I said turquoise. This is turquoise, isn't it? No, that's blue.
Why didn't they label them for you?
They'd never heard of colourblind. They didn't know what colourblind were.
Oh.
So they thought it was me having them on. And in them days you had things like sepia,
right,
avocado. These were bathroom suites, these.
That's not good for you, is it really?
What's that? Flamingo pink, cerise. I remember all the names, I just don't know what they were. Primrose yellow, baby blue, and white. And so that was my first paid job.
Right.
I used to get 22p an hour.
Right.
Love these stories. 22p an hour.
22p an hour.
And I used to work Friday mornings, all day Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I used to come out with £10.80. And that was brilliant. But I had Saturday off. Go to RSPCA, do a bit of voluntary work.
Yeah.
So that was fine. So I did that, then the abattoir.
Right. So why did you leave the bathroom suites, or did they sack you for being colourblind?
Do I have to talk truth on these podcasts?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I didn't earn a lot of money at the bathroom.
Right.
And we used to sell tiles. And I was known in the local pub as Tyler Steve. If you're doing the bathroom, ask Tyler Steve. So I used to put these little box of tiles on the bathroom windowsill and then go around and climb up and pinch, and I used to steal them. So yeah, so that's where I got. So I've just owned up.
And then you got caught.
And no, I was sat in the place having my lunch.
Hello, sweetheart.
And I heard Fred come in, the big boss, and say, "Steve, can you be a little earlier on Monday? We're going to do a stop check."
Did you not come in?
No, I never saw him after that. And that's from a year. So we did it from a year from me being there. They must have done a stop check the week before I got there. So from a year to me leaving. And I thought, oh, unless he asked me to count the tiles, we're in serious trouble. So I left. You did have to put your notice in them days.
You just left.
I just left. As far as he's concerned, I just vanished. So, and then, sorry about that, guys. Don't, as long as you haven't got any avocado, same, I'm still going avocado back to What colour is avocado?
It's green.
Oh, is it?
I imagine it's green.
Is it
That's
green?
what I imagine it would be.
So I did that, and then I had a few little bits and bats of jobs. So I literally, I didn't know, I had no idea where I was going.
Okay.
I didn't have no vocation, I didn't have no ambition, I didn't have no, I want to do this. I was just doing, wherever I could earn good money, I went and did it. Did some quite dangerous jobs.
Yeah.
So I painted the big chimneys that you see. I painted pylons. I did that for a while.
So at what point did you go, I want to open a parrot sanctuary?
Never. Never. Not at one point ever in my life I said I'm going to open a parrot sanctuary.
Right, okay.
So I did these multiple jobs, and we'll talk about these jobs. So what we'll do is, on one of them, we will talk about jobs.
Okay.
Because I've had such a varied job.
Yeah.
And some of the things that's happened I don't know why. I don't know. I've got this life that's like you can't be normal.
You're a magnet for
absolute.
You just tried opening the door.
Oh, I'd rather you didn't.
You are a magnet for just the unusual and the strange.
So anyway, so let's fast forward a little bit to about 1982, 83.
Okay.
Okay. And at this
How old
point,
were you?
I was about 22, 23.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm settled down.
Mhm.
There's me,
Yep.
there's Dawn, and
Yep.
there's Laura.
Yep.
And we live in a maisonette.
Lovely.
Okay, and we've got this little maisonette. Everything's fine. I'm working on a building site at this point.
Right.
Okay, which I loved.
Okay.
I was very good at organising building. And Dawn's sister went on holiday and asked if we would look after her little cockatiel,
Nice.
which is called Cheeky. I
Cute.
don't know. I'm sure it was Cheeky, and the one on TV were called Magic, or it was the other way around. But I'm sure it was Cheeky. And we was looking after this cockatiel for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And at this time, the in program was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and Dawn was very, and still is, very, very musical. So she's very in tune when she whistles.
Yes.
I'm not. I'm the opposite.
Right.
I'm very out of tune with singing or whistling. So what, and this is what encapsulated me. So we've got this little cockatiel that I'm quite fascinated with anyway, because it's an animal in the house, and I'm getting it to fly on my fingers and fly back and everything. It was lovely.
Yes.
And then Dawn's whistling Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. You know the song, don't you?
I do. I do.
So Dawn's whistling that, all lovely. And I'm whistling my version. And after about 5 or 6 days, the little cockatiel started whistling my version,
Oh, and not Dawn's version.
and which is out of tune.
Right.
So that actually triggered it to me because it sounded out of tune.
Okay.
And when I said, listen to that, to Dawn, it sounds out of tune, she says, yeah, because that's how you're whistling. And I said, no, I don't. I whistle in tune.
I'm very much in tune.
I whistle in tune. He says, no, you don't. You just think you do. You hear it as in tune. So I was thinking, so in my head, straight away, it's like, so why has it learnt the one that's out of tune? Surely it knows which one's in tune. And obviously you weren't clever enough to think.
Don't.
So the idea was that I was very consistently bad.
Yes.
So when I whistled it, I couldn't ad-lib. I couldn't change.
Right.
Whereas
so it was
Dawn,
the same every time.
Yeah, so it was the same every time. And over the years we've learned that they can pick those things up. And so I was fascinated, and that was literally the bug that got me. And I was thinking, now why?
Yeah.
A, how has it learnt it so quick?
Yeah.
And B, why has it picked the one out of tune up? So everything I did from there was to do with parrots. And I the other thing I realised.
Beginning.
Yeah, and I realised that there was absolute. There's a cat going up the tree.
Winnie, honey, what are you doing?
Told you, these are varied. These are never meant to be normal podcasts.
What are you doing?
So at this point the bug had got me.
Yes.
I was into them.
Obsessed.
And I knew I'd got to work, and I knew, and I'd never thought of that. I didn't have a thing in my head go, I know what I'm going to do now. I was just fascinated. And so when we started, and we didn't earn a lot of money, we hardly had any cash at all. But when we started to actually go out on a weekend, we lived in a maisonette, and everybody always wanted to know why we went to garden centres, because we haven't got a garden. But in garden centres, they always had parrots. They used to sell lots of parrots.
Yeah.
So
They still do.
I became obsessed with seeing parrots, and so much so that the parrots got to know me.
Oh, that's
and most of these
nice.
parrots were resident parrots, so they were there forever. And we used to go, and the guys used to leave me, the kids and Dawn, they'd go off looking at garden things like you do, while I sat with the parrots and talked to the parrots and did all that lot. So I became quite obsessed with animals.
Yeah.
But at this point I was also quite clever, and I knew there was no money in the animal side, and I was earning some good cash at this point because I was
moving up.
I was working hard, and I've always liked working. So I was developing flats in London. I'd got factories in Sheffield, and I was doing building. So we was doing.
Does it so casually like it's just?
No, we were just
on Tuesday.
We were just doing these. I just worked my way through, and these stories will all be interesting stories. These are definitely in the book, but these are all interesting stories because everybody looks at me and thinks, oh God, it must be brilliant. He's done this, that, and the other. But oh God, I got ripped off so bad. I was so naive.
Yeah.
And I mean, they took everything off us. I went from one day having 50 lads working for me and a big car to the next day that we got 2 sausages. Honestly, 2 sausages. And that's Laura. We had 2 in the fridge in our house. In the fridge on one day, we had 2 sausages and a piece of lettuce. And this is gospel. This is not a joke. And they opened the fridge door, and Laura's always been known for her sense of humour, and she's only very young. And I opened the door and I said, I have no idea what we're going to have to sit for food tonight. And our Laura says, let's have a sausage salad. And that's
quick.
That's all we had. So I learned that I needed to work, and I started working in all these. Like I set off on my own business, and I had this affinity with animals, but I also had this affinity with old people. I did. Old people, little old ladies they still do now. They used to love me, and they'd tell me everything. And I used to I'm going to come to fit your gutters, Mrs. Jones. That's all right, Steve. I've made you a drink, put you a bit of breakfast on. Honestly. And I'll be up to Steve. What? Your breakfast on. Doris, I'm trying to come and have it. And then she'd say, and tell me everything.
That's lovely, though.
So a job I used to price up for 3 days, I'd put 5 days in.
Yeah. And
said to them, I'm not charging you a lot per day, but I need something for conversation. Because we'd be sat there for a day at least, talking. So I started, I was in the building trade, and I was doing all right. I learnt got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge about what to do and what not to do, and about people. And then, so there's a big period of, I'd got a mortgage, I was running businesses.
Normal life.
I was skint a lot, I was rich a lot, I was a millionaire one day, a pauper the day after. It was all that, and that was life, that was a good life. And then one day, and now let me get this right, one day I went to a scrapyard for some unknown reason.
We don't have a dun dun dun.
Oh.
One day, dun dun dun.
Went to a scrapyard and this was it. So I went to this scrapyard and I was talking to, I don't know what it was for. Obviously something to one of my cars or looking for a part or something. And say what? Dan, dan, dan. And I went to, and while in the scrapyard, I looked behind and saw these parrots, these blue and gold macaws. And I hadn't seen a lot of blue and gold macaws.
Right.
Oh my God, I was like, oh, look at them. I need to get closer to them somehow. So by the time I'd finished talking to the scrap man, I was actually sat with these macaws inside his place, and we were looking at these macaws. And I was very, very took. And it was then that I got into studying them so much that I was upset. All I did was try to find information. I used to go to zoos, and people knew me in zoos.
Yeah, I mean, we're very much forgetting that information wasn't accessible either.
No, there was no internet.
No, so it was a completely different form of education.
There's no mobile phones.
No.
There's nothing like that. So you literally jumped in, and then I started to amass this knowledge, and because I was interested in it, I became quite well known. And I used to read every bit of paraphernalia.
So did you?
I used to read every bit of paraphernalia.
Did you just become well known because you were going around to all these places asking them to teach you stuff?
That, and also I became quite well known. So I'd go to a pet, and this is probably what spread my name around. I'd go to a pet shop and I'd be looking at the parrot, and I'd say, did you know your parrot's doing this? And they'd be thinking, oh, you're quite clever, this kid. And then so if somebody phoned them up and said, oh, this is happening to your parrot, they said, phone this lad up here. So I didn't have a mobile, but I had one of them big dialing phones.
Yeah.
And people would phone, Tom's told me to give you a call from pet shop. Oh yeah, this for your parrot. Right, I'll have it down and have a look. And I started doing that, and then I got a phone call from a huge
Do you know what's
store.
actually really impressive? That you had the confidence in your own self-taught knowledge that you were able to quite easily give advice to people who you'd never met before and had their parrot longer than you'd ever had a parrot.
There's
a level of confidence there that's really.
I think the confidence and this affinity. So I used to go to, and I learnt really quickly. And part of the way I used to speak to people was, right, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you what your parrot will do. But don't think it'll do it for you straight away.
Yeah.
It'll do it for me. I have no idea.
I don't know why, but I'm magic.
I'm just magic.
I've got a button for that.
I'm magic. So I do that, and then basically, and I learned really quickly. So I'd learn things like, if you have a parrot on top of a cage, and it was common sense. Nobody was saying these things. You know, like,
Like one of those things you notice but don't say.
But you think everybody knows.
Yeah.
So you know if you're doing a crossword puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's 4 letters, this, that, and the other, and everybody they think it must be hard, so they don't think it's the easy one until you put it in and think, oops, and that was it. So I was very. Everything I see is in very cartoon world, so I see things very pragmatically. And I noticed that if your parrot was sat on top of your cage, well, that's all right, that's no problem. But if you were comfortable there, and parrots sleep for a long time, parrots sleep for a good 12 to 14 hours a day. So if you're having a nap up there and you was going out and you thought, right, I need to put the parrot away, and he just starts to go to sleep, and you put your hand up and say, right, Polly, come on, get up here.
Yeah.
And he says, I was just going to sleep, and bites you, then in his head, because he sees your reaction, in his head he just thinks, oh, that's what I do.
Right.
If they're going to say something
like
that I don't want to,
behaviour.
it becomes a behaviour straight away. So I'd go to places and they say, oh, every time I go to put my hand up on the cage, he bites me and he's doing this. And I said, right, okay, let's change it. Question 1, why do you put it in your cage? Well then, because he's out of his cage, isn't he? Right, can he fly? No. Right, so what's he doing on top of his cage? He might as well be sat with you or sat in his cage.
Yeah.
Because when he's sat on his cage, then all of a sudden, this room becomes his as well. And if you mess him about, you're in his room. Whereas if he gets his cage and that's his domain. So you learn these things.
Yeah.
So I started giving the advice out and the shops had started giving my name. And then all of a sudden I got a phone call from Pets at Home.
Right.
The big Pets at Home.
And you were still in Sheffield?
And I was still in Sheffield. I was still working as a builder. And I got contacted by Pets at Home and said, is there any chance where they used to buy, they don't do it no more, they used to buy parrots from breeders.
Okay.
And they'd gone to buy a parrot from a breeder and they had a problem with it. And the breeder had said, phone this chap up and he'll come and have a look. Everybody said that. And I just this is such and such from Pets at Home.
The Parrot Man.
That's right, well, Parrot Man. And I mean, I've still got Parrot Man as my name on so many things. And so I shoot out, sort the parrot out, and then all of a sudden, Pets at Home thought, this guy's quite clever. And so it just started, and I was helping parrots all over the place and helping people, and I'd be helping breeders, so my life was parrots. Everything I did. So I was still working. Yeah. I was still doing this. I was doing concrete. I'd got a concrete company, and I was still obsessed with parrots. And then something happened. There's 2 things happened. One was where I lived in Sheffield. I actually took charge of 2 parrots. One I rescued, and the other one I actually didn't rescue him, but I didn't buy him. I took him. He was a youngster from a bird garden. Right. And they thought they were going to have problems with him. Okay. And they said...
Why did they think they were going to have problems?
Because he was born, when he was hatched, he was very non-social. And he would attack everything.
Oh, right.
And they said, like, at that point, he's not going to sit with birds, he's not going to fit with people. The only chance he's going to think of is probably euthanize him. Yeah. And they said, what do you think, Steve? And I said, no, give him to me, I'll mend him. I'll fix him, I'll fix him. He'll be fine. So he came on with us, called him Eric.
And he was
an umbrella cockatoo, and he was a star. He was a proper star, and he used to go with me everywhere. He travelled more. I bet he's one of the most travelled parrots in the country. He did over 200,000 miles with me. He knew every McDonald's in the country. We used to go everywhere together. And I used to Pets at Home asked me if I'd go around all their stores and do teaching. So I used to teach all their staff how to.
And again, this is just from like acquired knowledge.
Oh yeah, there's no such thing as a parrot. There's a parrot experience shop.
I mean, to be fair, there's not a parrot experience.
And there's still now.
Like, we still struggle to find courses for.
And what you've got is you've got the 2 things. You've got breeders and pet people. Yeah. And then you've got vets. But nobody knew anything about the psych side of things. Yeah. So breeders would usually get shots of a parrot at 12 weeks old.
So they'd never see it onwards. They wouldn't see an adult. So they wouldn't see the problems.
That's right. And vets only saw them when they were ill.
Yeah, they're seeing them at the worst case scenario.
Yep, and people are the ones that sent them round a twist. Because they used to fall in love with them and they didn't see the negatives. They didn't see what was going on. So I was fortunate. I mean, again, there's so many stories about people's like common sense that was lacking, that once you actually told them, they felt a little silly, but the parrots were fine from there.
Better on for it.
So I just became so well known for parrots. And I got all sorts. Some of the things that's happened to me, like I set up this little organisation where I used to take parrots around to see, because at the top of my road there was like a special needs school.
This is still in Sheffield.
I'm still in Sheffield,
Yeah.
and I got a phone call and said, bit of a weird request, but we've got a number of people, a number of youngsters that suffered from cerebral palsy, and you couldn't bring one of your parrots up here just to see how they'd react.
I can't imagine a school in this day and age
I know.
asking anyone to bring a parrot to
I know, it's
to a
just so
school.
strange. And I got this phone call, and it was like, all of a sudden nerves start kicking in.
Yeah.
So I've been all over the place, I've done talks, but all of a sudden nerves kicking in.
So all the stuff that you've done to this point. So hang on, can we rewind?
Yes, go back.
So, right, so you were a builder.
Yep.
You were acquiring knowledge.
Yep.
You went to a scrapyard.
Yep. Saw parrots.
Saw parrots, and then ended up with Eric.
Yep, because I used to go down to zoos and bird gardens and things.
Yeah.
And I got to know the people.
And then you ended up with Eric. Were you still a builder
Yes.
when you got Eric?
Yes.
Right. So you were still. So when they asked you to go to the school, you were still a builder.
Oh yeah, even the Pets at Homes, I was still. That was every weekend I did that. So I used to work in the week
Right. And then
and go there at the weekends.
Right.
So I was still working full time, but at the weekends.
So would Pets at Home pay you to do the talks?
No,
and
not to the
stuff?
talks, no. But when they started asking me to train their staff, then they said they would pay me.
Okay.
So then it was fine. But that comes in like
Later.
stage 2.
Okay.
So I'm literally, so I get this phone call, will you nip up to, any chance you could just bring your parrots to see these children? And me and my big mouth, yeah, of course, well, no problem. Why have I done that? And like Dawn looked at me and says, what's wrong? I've just said I'll go. I just said I'll take parrots there. I feel sick. I don't want to do it because I feel frightened of seeing these poor kids now. Oh, shut up, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Oh my lord! So walking in, I'm not kidding, sweating, like, and I walk around these like probably I think about 6 or 7. Don't get me wrong, I fell in love with all of them. These 6 or 7 little kids there, and they were so ill, and I saw something from there that I thought, oh my god, this is quite special. Eric had this ability to, he knew that they were poorly kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I knew, but I knew I could trust him implicitly. Yeah. And he would walk around these kids and he'd climb on the shoulders and he'd nibble at the face and he'd nibble at the pipes that they'd have in and everything. And I'm like, oh my god. But he loved them. He was brilliant. Come back home, he'd bite Laura. And he did a few times. So, but then I got, so I did this and I came home, and the feeling of these kids saying that were amazing, the feeling on my way home, and it was only literally 3 minutes home, was the elation was like, oh my god, I feel like I've actually done some good.
Yeah.
So about 2 weeks later, and this sounds ironic now, so about 2 weeks later I get a phone call from a nun. I didn't know it was a nun.
Right.
I didn't know it, and I thought, oh divine, it's happened, this is, somebody knows me from up there, they've seen me for my work.
The nuns have come to get
The nuns
me.
have come to get me. But so I get a phone call from this nun and said, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was a member of a family or whatever, but you did this thing for the children at the special needs. I said, yeah. And he said, there's no way you would actually come and see.
Imagine getting called by nuns.
I know, but I didn't know she was a nun. When I got there, I nearly died.
I can imagine.
Because she just called. I thought, see, when I think about things now, I think she called herself Sister Marie.
Right.
But I thought she'd said, it's her sister, Marie. So I thought she meant, it was a sister. I'd been to see Marie, and this was her sister who were phoning me.
Right.
And I work at a children's hospice. All right, okay, that's no problem. Would you bring your parents to see our children? Again, yeah, of course we will.
What have I done?
So,
Right.
when I got there, and that's probably the worst part, is when I pulled up into the car park, that's when I said it was a nun.
Right.
And I saw this nun, I don't know why, but I was so frightened that it were a nun. I don't know what it was. And she came to see me, and she just literally said, right, this is what we will do. This is how we will do things. We will literally, you'll bring the parrots in, we'll see all the children, and we'll just see how the kids react to it. Never seen anything as nice in my life. All the parents were there, all the kids were there, and I'd got at this point.
Oh, that's
3 or 4 parrots
lovely.
running about. The parrots were bedlam. They were all over the place. But I did the crisp, and then from there it just started, and I was going all over the country to hospices. I didn't used to go to Pets at Home as much then because I was trying to concentrate going to hospices because
Yeah.
I prioritised them.
Oh my gosh.
But then I got a call from Pets at Home saying, we know what you're doing. One of our chaps on here who comes to see us, called John Pryor,
Yeah.
who was on, he then he was involved in what we did, but he then nominated me for one of these Human Hero Awards on TV on
As you do.
BBC. As you
So
do.
when was this?
So this was 1996.
And so hang on, how did you go from taking
Taking parrots to hospices.
and then you met?
Well, no, what I did is I set up a little charity. All right, there's another little story. So I'm building this. Oh, here we go. I'll tell you, it'll keep going backwards. So I'm doing this loft extension
Okay.
for this parrot breeder.
Right.
Okay, and I'm doing his lot called
So
Grey.
you're still working
Still
as a
building.
builder,
Yep.
but
Do-
you happen to be doing it for
And he just
a
happened to be a
parrot
parrot
person.
person,
Okay,
yeah. Which was brilliant for me because he got parrots in his garden and everything. Yeah, one of them's just passed
One
away.
of them has just farted and it
Yeah.
smells so bad. Oh my god.
We're only in a little room, and that is
That's
bad.
a lot.
That's a lot.
That is a
From
lot.
Do apologise, guys, if you got smelly vision. There's nothing we can do about that.
Okay.
So I'm doing this extension. Oh God almighty.
Every time I turn, it's there.
Go
what
away.
have you done?
They're pretty, but they're not nice. But anyway, so I'm doing this extension, and I get a call from our local newspaper, and I wanted to rescue this particular parrot.
I've got a parrot that needs me urgently.
Oh, have you? Right.
Okay.
So what do we do in this? Oh, this is strange, isn't it? What do we do in these situations?
You can carry on talking, and
Okay, do you want me- I'll
just
just
jump
talk
back
to-
in.
right, do you wanna
I'm
dive
gonna have to
underneath?
go under.
I'll talk to you guys. You've got me all. Oh,
This
Steve
was not
Unleashed.
predicted.
This is not a forecasted thing. Steve Unleashed. Anything could happen. They might as well be closed down by the time she comes back.
I'm gonna have to get back in again afterwards.
All right.
Oh.
So, I'll tell you what I'll do. So remember where we are. Remember where we are, guys. And I'm gonna answer some of your questions while I'm waiting for you.
Facebook's on there as well.
Right. So I've got Facebook on here. How can I use Facebook? I don't know what your number is.
Just click the screen and the comments will come up.
Hold it.
You got it?
No.
Is it on Facebook?
No.
Oh.
Sorry about this, guys. Nobody said it was going to be easy. You're not going to miss anything yet. Don't worry, Jules.
There we go. There
so-
we go.
So what I'll do is
Okay.
so I'll just keep clicking the screen.
Oh,
So
sorry, Sheila.
I'll just answer a few of your questions. So remember where we are. We are at the moment. We are just going into. We've been doing hospices for a while. Okay, what's that happening up there? I've no idea what's happening up there. I think that's telling me I've got to drag this one. Otherwise, my live will end. 1 second. That's it. Done. Sorted. Comes and tells you you've got to stop. Otherwise, I'll get into trouble. So right. I'm an amazing grafter. I'm not really an amazing grafter. I just love work. I do actually like work. And if you're doing something that you enjoy, that's like half your wages, isn't it? You know, if it's a job that you're into, and that's where I get into it. So, how did you go from growing up in the north to settling in Lincolnshire? So, that's a question I can easily answer because we can get into that. And that is basically what I did was I used to take the parrots to see children in hospices, but then in the late 90s they actually stopped. They asked me, saying we're going to stop doing this kind of thing because health and safety. They've all had letters round and things saying that you can't actually take parrots there, non-indigenous animals, they said, to different hospices because of the fear of infection. And then I actually got and I said, all right, no problem, there's nothing I can do about that. See you later, Jules, no problem, you can catch it later on, don't worry. And we had to actually literally stop taking them very, very quickly. And one of the nuns, the nun that I got on really well with, she actually said to me, it's a bit difficult, you can't come to us because of the other children that's here, but we can come to you. And I said, well, not really, it's a bit awkward if you come to me because we've just got this house up in Sheffield, which is a normal semi-detached house, and it'd look ever so weird if a nun turned up every Saturday with half a dozen kids, like a weird episode of Sound of Music or something like that. So I said, you can't really do that. But on my way home and this was at Boston Spa, I believe, in Wakefield. On my way home from the hospice, I had this tin pot idea of, I wonder if I actually set a place up and get the kids to come and see us. At this point I was actually doing all sorts of work, but I was winding down because I was doing a lot of consultation. I was very good at earning other people money. Not brilliant at earning my own money, but I was very good at earning other people money. I used to have quite a few visions of ideas. So at that point I asked Dawn and the kids, do you feel like packing all this lot in and going and opening a sanctuary for parrots, but not to actually open to the public? The general idea was a sanctuary for us to have parrots there that the kids could come to see us. And my kids said no. They'll stay in Sheffield.
Those kids are going mad.
Yeah, they're running about all over the place.
Right, I'm going to change very quickly.
You're all getting quite wobbly.
Yeah, sorry, it's me banging on the doors. I'm just going to, I need to tilt this so that you're more in frame, but I can't see it from here.
Alright. Oh, we're moving.
Sorry, I put my hand in your face.
That's
Okay, is that it?
You need to twist it that way a bit. Yeah, that's okay. That's alright. No problem.
I have to drink.
Yes, of course you can. So that's our, and so literally, the plan was, we'll go back to that because obviously that's going to get to the start of it, and then we'll just get to the start. This is in the last 15 minutes, so that's what we will do.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. If you're just coming online, we do apologise if a head just pops up here. There we are. I'm trying to hold your chair.
There's a lot of hands going on right now.
Trying to hold your chair from spinning around. That's okay, Jules. We'll see you later.
Right.
Is Eric out there? Right. So let me carry on talking. I'm going to go back to.
Yes, Jem.
What was that?
Eric is out of the window poop parrot.
He is. That's right.
Yeah.
That's who he is. Yes.
Okay.
So hospices. So I then started. I started taking the parrots to the hospices. So
you did the roof.
All right.
You did the loft of the guy.
See, this is why she's here. Right. So I'm doing the roof and the loft of the guy. Yes, I'm doing the roof.
Have I made that really wonky?
No, that's fine. It's okay. That's all right. We're on there. And we've got wild conversations on there.
No, on the Facebook one. No,
no, you're fine. They're okay. You can. It looks all right. They're fine with it. It looks all right. And
oh, it does actually. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
So, so I'm actually doing the roof, and while I'm doing the roof, John, I didn't know this.
So you have Eric.
I've got Eric.
You go to hospices on the weekends.
Yep.
Pets at Home still calls you.
Yes. And the other thing I do
building.
that I haven't said here, which doesn't make a difference because I will go into this, is I used to help breeders. So I used to go down and give breeders their advice.
Yeah.
And then for me to study them more, what I used to do is help them when they were hand rearing. So I used to hand rear them for them.
Right.
So I'd always got babies around me. So
oh, okay.
I never, in my house there was never ever
not
babies.
Night.
The most they ever had were about 80.
Yeah.
And the less they said was probably about 10.
80.
Oh yeah, I used to literally, it was just like a full time constantly. And Dawn used to work at Tesco's. I set my entire house out at the basement to cater for these birds that went out into an aviary. And every break we got, we used to shoot back and feed all the babies and have a sandwich and then get straight back to work again. So that's what we used to do quite often. I mean, all the time really. So we got this going and everything's working and we're sorting parrots out. So I'm actually at this point. So we've got to bring everybody into perspective. I've got Eric and a couple of other parrots that used to go around with me. They lived with me all the time.
Where did you get the other parrots from?
I rescued them. These are people that just turned around and said, I've seen you around, or I've seen you, because the local paper used to do anything to do with parrots.
Okay.
They'd come and see me.
Right.
Just because they knew I knew about parrots. And I was so the two things that was happening is I was trying to rescue this big green winged macaw called Star.
Right.
I'll tell you why I call it Star in a minute.
Okay.
I'm trying to call it this green, and it was a place called. And some of these podcasts will be quite controversial. This was a place
Most
called.
Most of them will be.
This poor parrot was trapped in a cage in a place called Harlington Garden Centre at Doncaster.
Okay.
It might be a totally new place now. It might be lovely.
I imagine.
But at this point, it was barbaric.
Yeah.
It was horrendous. and I keep going. I used to go and see this parrot. And this poor green-winged macaw was demented,
Right.
huge and demented. So I'm doing. So I'm thinking about this macaw all the time.
So like cage dancing?
He was biting his own legs. He used to bite his own legs. He would bite at the cages until either the cage broke or his beak broke.
Holy moly.
He would be doing cage dancing. He'd be doing Stargate, everything. Totally demented.
Yeah.
So I used to go and see him all the time, and I don't know why. I was thinking I've got a relationship with him.
Yeah.
He hated me, like he hated everything else. So I was doing that, and then I was doing this house, this for Graham, doing this loft extension. And I said to Graham, well, because I used to see him a lot, this chap, and we became really good friends after I'd done his loft extension. And I said, I'm trying to rescue this macaw.
Yeah.
So he says, where? I says, from Doncaster. Well, that was really near where he lived.
Oh, right.
And he said, well, let's go and have a look. So we kept going and having a look. And then he started going up at night time and smuggling food in for it.
Okay.
So between us, we were trying to rescue it. And then I contacted my local newspaper.
Right.
And said, I'm trying to rescue this parrot. Is there any way we can try to raise a few quid? But I can't tell you where it is. And they said, yes,
So you were, to rescue it, you were planning to buy it?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I needed to get it away from there.
How much are they asking for it?
£1,500.
So quite a lot.
In the 90s, £1,500.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was like 10 of them you could buy a house.
Jesus.
The house was like 15,000 in Sheffield. Yeah. So he wanted a lot of money for it. So we were trying as hard as to raise the money. And
just for perspective, not to cut in, how much were you earning a day as a builder?
As a builder, I wasn't doing bad, but my overheads were massive because I'd got a lot of people that worked for me.
Yes.
But as a normal wage, so people were probably earning between £80 a week, maybe £100 a week.
So 1,500.
So to take 4 months of your entire wages just to buy the parrot.
Yeah.
And so, but they were so rare.
Yeah.
Nobody were into parrots. This was just before the big parrot boom. And so I actually said to Graham, I'm trying to raise this money. He said, well, we'll go and smuggle food in it and things like that. I contacted my local press, and they said, we'll try to say who you are and what you're doing, but we'll not mention this parrot. And they did, and that raised us about 300 quid, 400
Amazing,
quid.
cool.
So eventually we got, and the Pets at Home,
Yeah.
they said that I could hold 1 or 2 events there, and all the money that we raised from there.
Nice.
So eventually we got the 1,500 quid.
Yes.
So I then went and got the parrot, getting the money, which I don't condone at all.
No.
But I needed to get this parrot.
Yes.
Get this parrot home, contacted the local newspaper,
Yeah.
which we call Sheffield Star.
Oh,
So I then called in
okay.
Star
Yes.
after them, and then and they thought it was wonderful, so they assisted us a little bit more,
Yeah.
and we got even more coverage out of it. So I'm coming to the end of this loft conversion, and I get
Sorry, that's me.
I get
My
a
bad.
phone call. It's all right. It'll wash off. I get a phone call from the local press saying you've been nominated for this award, haven't you? And I said, what award's that?
Right.
And they said, you've been nominated for a BBC award. Well, I didn't realise.
So this is after Star.
This is once I've got a star, it's
Right.
hit the press and
Yeah.
everything. And I said, well, I don't know, I have no idea. And so I said, because I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Because they release these things in the press,
Yes.
to the press, without us. And they said, yeah, you've been nominated for such and such. Just by coincidence, a couple of days later, the BBC contact me and say you've been nominated for these awards. So I said, all right. And they said, so we'll send somebody up to your place, a celebrity, to meet you, and then you get nominated, and then we do a thing at BBC.
Right.
And if you've won it, you've won it. So
You've
I said,
won it,
right,
yeah.
okay. So it was John Pryor that had nominated me.
Right. So
Because
how
he-
did you know?
John, I met John in Pets at Home.
Right.
So he was going into Pets at Home to buy something for his dog.
Okay.
Saw me with the parrots.
Yep.
Got talking, was fascinated,
Yep.
and we became friends. Every single person I knew was parrots. Everybody. So I literally had a network of people all over the country that I just met and talked
That's
to,
lovely.
which was brilliant. And there was lots and lots of them all over the
So
country.
did you ever talk to the roof guy again?
All the time, yeah. We
Yeah.
become unbelievable mates. He was brilliant. He ended up doing Pets at Homes with me.
Oh,
We
really?
used to travel all over the
Oh,
place.
cool.
Graham Frost, they call him.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, nice chap he was.
Do you still talk to him now?
No, he died.
Oh.
They've all died.
Oh.
There's only me left. And John.
And John.
And Dave. Big Dave, that's it. Everybody else has gone. Don't get parrots, they're not very good luck. So I'm doing this, and then I go down to Television Centre. Cut a long story short, I won the award. I got the award. I got awarded this Human Thing award, whatever it was. So then it made the press.
Do you still have it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you framed it and everything?
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Well, yeah, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, but you did an awful amount. You've got to remember that you did an awful amount, not only like because you wanted to, because you're interested in parrots, but for the community. You didn't have to take parrots to see sick people.
Oh no,
You didn't have to say yes to everyone that called you. You didn't have to give advice to everyone free of charge.
No,
you did.
I got so well. I used to love it. I used to travel all over. I mean, Peshawar cheap then as well. So I used to go all over the place. I used to travel everywhere. I used to love it. And then then things started to escalate, and this is how things happen. So I'm taking part to see these sick children. I just won this award. I then get a telephone call saying, "You've won this award. Blah blah blah. Can we do some photos of you for the press?"
Nice.
So I said, "Yep, all right." And then it turns, and this is where it gets weird. So Monday afternoon, chap turns up, unbelievably flash.
Okay.
And I mean flash. He was like a television celebrity in this sports car and gets out. "Hello, my name's such and such." I can't remember his name. "My name's such and such. And I've come to take some photographs of you." So I said, "What, just me and my parrot?" So he said, "Yep, this is for the News of the World and for the Sunday supplement. It's for the centre pages."
If I remember, this photo shoot's weird. If I remember rightly,
Yes, it is,
this photo shoot's not normal.
No, it's not normal. So we get talking, and what they do generally, they do a little bit of an interview. They talk about you, and they take a laugh and joke, and they obviously they suck you in because they tell you who they are and everything. And one of the things that we used to do is if I got in the bath, then
The
do
what?
The bath.
Bath?
This is because they were a posh bloke. If I go in the bath, I'd get in the bath and I'd hear dun, da, da, and Eric could come bouncing up the stairs and dive in the bath. So there'd be me.
So cute.
So there'd be me, like laid in the bath reading, and Eric in all the bubbles, playing in the bubbles, every night, literally every night. So I'd tell him that. So he says, "No chance you'd get in the bath, is there?" I said, "What?" So you couldn't have any photos in your. I said, "It's only a small bathroom." He says, "Don't worry, I've got a wide angle." Honestly. And I said, "I don't know. I never expected to be going in the bath." So he says, "If we run the bath, fill it with bubbles, you can keep your football shorts on.
Yeah.
You'll just get in the bath, get Eric." Cracking shot that. So I'm talking to him, he says,
Did you take that shot?
Yeah, he said that's the middle. Yeah, we've got that in the.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely. Yeah, we see that in the office. That's in the press release things in there. So I will try to get these photos so you can see. And then, so he's talking to me and he says, and I'm always fascinated in what people do. And I said, like, where have you been and everything? He says, "I'm actually Princess Diane's photographer, and I'm usually with her doing all the photographs." And
Really?
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
This is proper fame. He's a proper famous photographer, and so it was like fascinating talking to him. And he did all the big celebrities and everything. So I'd get in the bathroom then at that point.
You were photographed by the same person that shot Princess Diana.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah. So
that's absolutely insane.
So we did, but he turned a little bit sour. Not bad, but it turned a little bit sour. So he said, "I finished my bit now. I've done all the photos and got all the fabulous photos." And then this journalist had to come up and said, just to do a follow up. And she says, and it's well known, and I cover this story. It's well known that I don't go away on holiday, and I never really have done.
No, that's true.
But my family does. So I'd got a house full of parrots and what have you, and this journalist there, and she says, "Where's your wife?" I said, "She's on holiday." "And where's your kids?" "On holiday." "Don't you ever go on holiday?" "No, not a chance. I look after parrots. That's what I do. I'm a bit obsessed with what I do." "All right, okay, that's okay, no problem." Blah, 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 blah. So that's it done. We had a full good afternoon, done the photos, done that, gone. Sunday supplement comes out and you ramp it up. Blonde housewife jets off, leaving husband in house full of birds. That's the headline. Oh, and it's me laid in the bath.
What a way to twist it out of proportion.
Me laid in the bath with a parrot. And you're like, oh my God. Anyway, there's always a silver lining on everything. So everybody took the mickey out of me. Everybody thought it was brilliant. So I'm doing Graham's Loftex, and I remember this to this day. I'm doing and it's like, phone call goes, picks the phone up. Quite a posh chap on the phone. And it was a QC. I didn't know what a QC was.
What's
then.
a QC?
He was a judge.
Right.
In the Queen's Court, so he was a very high up judge. And he said, I've been reading about your escapades, and I said, right, okay, where's this going? And he says, I've also seen the award you've received. Yep, that's okay. I've got parrots, and I'm absolutely fascinated in what you do.
Nice.
So I said, right. So
Okay.
he said, I think because of what you do and the way that you do things, you really need to set up a charity. And I said,
Makes
right,
sense.
because I didn't know anything about charities, and charities are unbelievably difficult to start.
They are.
And I said, what do you mean? So he says, well, this is what you have to do, this is what. I says, and what will that do? He says, nothing other than it will give you credibility because it shows that you are worthy in what you do, the fact that you started a charity.
Yeah.
And also, if you do get any donations towards what you're doing, you don't have to pay tax on them.
Yeah.
So I said, right, okay, no problem. So I set up this little charity called Parrot Line. So there was Parent Line out at that time and Child Line. So I said, well, called Parrot Line.
Right.
And people all over the country used to phone me and get advice on their parrots. And that literally, that worked really well for a long time. I could work, I was doing the parrots,
Yeah.
I was going around teaching people at Pets at Home.
Yeah.
I was earning a good few quid, it weren't bad, I weren't poor. And then I was travelling all over the country to help people with their birds.
Right.
So it was lovely. But it was while I was doing the hospices that I was then told, we can't do this anymore because
So how many years on was that?
all very quickly, probably 2 years. It was all
Blimey,
very
that is quite
quickly
quick.
because when this all happened in the 1994 to 1998. So
Yeah.
all of this happened in 4 years because it was the parrot boom started, and I got to know all the vets and everything. And because I was travelling all over for breeders and travelling all over to show people's pets out and everything, there's so many things happening.
Yeah.
And I was into technology, and the internet was really just starting. So it was there was lots of things going off. And and I used to do a lot of consultations, business consultancy.
Right.
So I was just saying to the guys before you come back, I used to be able to give advice out on business as well because I was so confident in what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I could make people a few quid. I was crap at making my own money, but I was good at making other people cash. So I used to
Right.
help people, and people I knew, I used to set up businesses and help them and what have you. So when the hospices said that they couldn't take parrots anymore,
Yeah.
and they said they could come to see me, on my way home, and this is truth, on my way home from Boston Spa, I'd actually designed the National Parrot Sanctuary.
Right.
It's a 2-hour trip, and on my way back I thought, right, I can do this, I can work there, I can go semi-retirement, I can help parrots, I can have a couple of
I
cages,
can go semi-retirement.
semi-retirement, yeah. And I can do the business consultation.
Yep.
Oh, it's a dream. And so when I got back, I said to the family, what's the chances of packing all this in, your holidays and things, let's set up a scabby parrot sanctuary and move from Sheffield to Lincolnshire. And they said no. Not a chance.
Fair enough.
Not a chance. So me and Dawn said, well, we're going to do it because Dawn's mum, people in Sheffield used to come out to Skegness.
Yeah.
It used to be a big pilgrimage, and Dawn's family were big caravanners, so we didn't see Dawn's family in the summer because they was all out here. And so we thought, well, if we move out here,
You'll see
Dawn's
them
going to see all the time.
Yeah.
The kids can come and visit us if
Yeah.
they want because they lived with my mother. I mean, they were a good age as well. They weren't
Yeah.
young, and so it took us about 2 years to find this place, and we found this place in 1999, and moved in I think it was January 2000,
Yeah.
and we visited well over 200 properties.
Holy moly.
Did 10,000 miles backwards and forwards from Sheffield. Used to every other day we used to come out, and every estate agent lied to us.
Yes, can you
Says it
imagine?
was a big plot of land and it was like a postage stamp on
So were
somebody's back.
you after a big plot of land?
Not a big plot. I was after a plot of land big enough to put some aviaries up. So
Right.
I wanted half an acre because
Yeah.
half an acre of land was huge to me.
And the intention was to rescue parrots.
Yep.
But to have it so that sick people could visit you.
The kids could come to
So
see
you
me.
could still do what you were doing.
Yep.
Just the other way round.
Yes, but the idea was that in them days, well, to tell you the truth, I was very knowledgeable in the fact that we'd set up this charity and this parrot rescue, and there was only 2 others in the country that set up the same year as
Yeah.
us, and I very quickly realised that they would become full really quickly if you did it from your house.
Yes.
I also, where I was probably quite naive is I never thought for 1 second there was that many parrots out there that needed help.
I still am so surprised at how many parrots that are out there that
Yes.
need help.
I'm the
It's
same.
astonishing.
If you look at our list of parrots that's due to come in,
It's actually...
it's quite frightening to think,
Yeah,
because
it
I
is
thought after
frightening.
all these years. So once this started, and this was me being totally naive, so we found this place, and this place was just a house. Well, it wasn't a house, it was a 3/4 finished barn conversion
Yeah.
with about just over half an acre land on the back, which was just grass. There was no, there was one tree,
Yeah.
just one tree on site. And what I used to do is when I used to visit all these properties, and I used to walk around, we were just starting in computers, and computers were getting not big, but they were getting about. And I used to have a design package on there,
Right.
because I used to have a concrete company, so I used to design people's
Yeah.
drives. And every house I came to,
When did you have a concrete company?
I fit these little things in.
How do you just fit them
We
in?
called it Aristocrete, and I used to we was the biggest
Aristocrat.
Aristocrete. Yes, we was the biggest driveway company in Yorkshire. I had 110 lads work for me, going all over the country doing.
So hang on, when did you start that?
That was just like a sideline
No,
that
it's
took
not.
over
That's
my
not
business.
a sideline. When did you
That
start
was
that?
in 1993.
So
1992.
So you got the Human Hero Award.
Yep.
Is that what it's called?
No, I got that a bit later, the Human Hero Award. This was literally at the beginning of my building. So I was building, that's how I got into concrete.
I think I need like a whole board.
You'll have to
with a
watch it.
timeline.
Yeah, we need a timeline. Well, we said we need a timeline, haven't we?
So you went from. So you did. Hang on. So you did building.
Building, so I got flats.
No. So you did bathrooms,
Yes.
abattoir.
Yep. A few little bits in between,
Okay. Building.
and then building.
Asbestos.
Asbestos. Yes, asbestos was in 1985 to 1987. Says suspected spam. I don't know who he is. I don't know if that's a name. He keeps phoning me, this bloke. Suspected spam. I don't know if I owe him some money or something. He's on the
Don't
phone
answer
10 times a day. Suspected spam. Look.
Asbestos.
Yep.
And then. Where do parrots fit in then?
So straight after asbestos, parrots fit in.
Okay.
So that's when I started with. So I finished in asbestos in about 1989.
Okay, and you went
1988,
you still went into building.
I went into
but you
building
went
big
into
time then.
parrots.
Yes. So I was doing my own building then. So rather than working for somebody on the building, I was doing my own
Right.
little jobs then.
Okay, and then you were doing parrots.
Yep.
And then when did you go from building to concrete?
That was like a natural thing. So that's another little story. So this was again before internet and everything. So, and Dawn used to go away. So Dawn came back from our building, and I was doing I don't know what I was doing, building some houses or whatever. I don't know what I was doing, building something.
Right.
And Dawn came back and she says, "Oh my God, Steve, I've just seen some. While I was in Spain, I saw some driveway and in like a petrol station, and it looked like proper cobbles, but it weren't. I saw them pouring it. It was like a concrete."
Oh
And
wow.
I went, "Oh, that's quite good." So she
Yeah.
says, "Yeah." She says, "I don't know what they call it." Well, all you got to look at in them days, and I know it sounds so primitive, but all you got to look at was the yellow pages.
Yeah.
So I went through the pages. There was nothing printed concrete. There was just
Right.
nothing. So I thought she'd had some stuff over there, and she hadn't really seen anything. But no, so she was insistent that this
it was
stuff.
printed concrete.
So I said, right, okay, I'll have a look. So I started searching around and found it was just entering the UK. And they call it pattern printed concrete, PIC. And so it was like, all right, that is quite novel. Where do you get it from? And they got it from a place called Fresno in America. Right, how do we let them know? So obviously all the different hours. So I phoned this company up in America. I don't know how much it cost me. And I literally said,
It's number 2.
is that?
Yeah.
I said, I want to do this concrete. And they said, right, that's no problem, that's okay. Whereabouts are you? I said, Sheffield. Whereabouts in America is that? No, it's in England.
UK.
Right, okay, we'll send you some prices through by fax. So obviously we didn't know the hours, different hours. About 3:30 in the morning, the fax machine started going off, went down, it must have been about 30 pages.
No.
And it was like, where did I get this from? And there was a company in Britain just starting with the materials.
Yeah.
And so I went down, bought some materials and
started.
pattern printed concrete.
Okay, and when did you get Eric?
Eric was literally about 3/4 of the way through doing the concrete.
Right, so you were doing concrete.
Yeah.
So why did you do someone's loft?
Because I will never stop building.
Right,
Always
so you were doing
building.
2 things at once.
Two or
Technically,
three.
you're doing 3
Two or
things
three
at
things
once.
at once, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So it's like,
Okay.
well, you never knew if it weren't going to dry up.
Not if you do it all!
That's it. So, and concrete and building are both like the same thing. So
Yeah, sure.
I was doing developing, I was doing flats in London. I used to travel a lot. I used to do 1,400 miles a week.
Blimey.
That's why I went around doing pets at home. So I used to travel to London to do flats and then come back and be building factories. I was just obsessed with it. I just loved doing those kind of things. So once we found this place and we decided that, right, there's this, and I knew I was a builder so I could finish the bungalow off no problem.
Yeah.
And half an acre of land was as much as I needed as far as I was concerned. But really strange things happened, like once I started. People started to appear to see me doing what we was doing. And then it just...
blossomed.
It blossomed. And I think that's really a whole new story then. That's the start of a new chapter. Because we was here then.
Yeah.
And we'd looked at well over 200 houses. We travelled well over 10,000 miles and met some really weird people.
I can imagine.
I mean, really weird. One bloke was trying to convince us that he'd seen spaceships the night before. That were in Wainfleet.
Oh my god, really?
And Wainfleet to us were they were like, we'd never heard of Wainfleet. Another one, he grew Christmas trees.
Right.
And he got thousands of Christmas trees, but you've never smelt anything as bad in your life.
Oh.
And so we couldn't move to there.
Oh.
And then another one, which again, this wasn't very far from here. I went to see it and he said, as you went into the house, there was coffins stood up in the house. And it were like, oh, I wonder if this is like a funeral
Vampire
director's. And it were like that, they were all goths or whatever, goths. Do they call them goths or goths? Goths. They were
it's
all,
with a TH.
oh, goths, yeah.
But I don't think we should...
No,
I don't think we should lump goths with people who would stand upright in coffins, because that's a completely different sort of thing.
No, but these were all goths. They all had all the goth stuff on. And what they used to have around their house was really unbelievably lovely things dotted about. They'd got coffins, they'd got... everything was jet black in the house. And it were amazing. And we sat talking to them and they were all the family, mum, dad and everything. And I says, why have you got a coffin? And they opened it, it were a bar. It was all full of drinks.
That sounds pretty cool to be fair.
It was fascinating and I thought, I want to be one of these. This is quite good. There were some really weird things around. So, but then we got the place and literally, as for start of podcast 2, within about 3 weeks, I'd realised I'd made a serious mistake. A big mistake.
Gonna leave us on that cliffhanger.
Telling you no more. That's it, done.
That is an awful lot of information, but...
I was worried about whether I'd be able to tell you enough, and it's been an hour and a half.
I know, it's been an hour. It's just, a lot longer than we were expecting to go on for, to be fair. But really good.
I hope you've enjoyed it.
I hope you've enjoyed it too. This is our first podcast that we've done. Our next podcast will be the same time next Thursday.
Yes.
It'll be a weekly thing from now on.
What we're going to think, I mean, we're very, very open to suggestions.
We are. I mean, we're going to flip the camera around so at least you can read
so you can read what we're doing. It doesn't say milk tray.
It doesn't, no.
So we are going to, and one of the things that we might do somewhere along the line, don't know exactly how to do this, but obviously I've seen lots of questions coming up and things like that. What we might do is throughout the week, a follow-up to answer some of your questions.
Yeah, so we'll probably collate a load of the questions and maybe at the beginning of the next podcast we'll do a question and answer.
Yeah, we could do that.
We could write them down.
Or on one of our lives,
we could do
a follow-up live, which is nothing to do with a podcast, it's just literally answering your questions.
Yeah.
Because I saw 100 questions come up there and it was like, oh right, there's no way we can answer them and do this. But this is all new. We want to be out there with you guys. It's all trying to be part of what you're doing. All our two guys can't get to us, so we are literally.
We just love talking to you, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm not very good at talking, but I'm getting better.
You're coming out of your shell.
I'm getting better.
Now, what we do need to discuss is when this podcast is going live on the public forums. Because obviously right now we're on subscriber only on Twitch, we're on subscriber only on Facebook.
Yep.
TikTok doesn't save the live as a whole format anyway.
No.
So when are you going to post this? When are we going to post it public?
So this will probably, I would say, this has to be
Do
posted
we
public
post it
a
next
couple of days.
Thursday?
I know. I think that might cause a bit of confusion with people.
It might do, yes.
So probably, I think would be. I mean, ultimately, we want to try to get as many people involved in it. But I would say I would say the weekend.
Do you think?
Yeah, I would say Saturday
like
or Sunday.
Sunday?
Probably Sunday. We'll post this.
So we'll post it live. We'll post it on Sunday for the public to access.
Yes.
But obviously, as subscribers, you will always get the live version. You'll always get it first.
Yes.
That's kind of.
That's the idea.
The idea.
Subscribing that you're going to get this.
Yeah. So you get all the tidbits, all the live bits, and that means that we can see you guys in the flesh as well, which is really good.
Yes. Okay. So we'll keep practicing. I'm sure we'll enjoy it. We'll make sure what was the sound like? Was the sound okay? Because we're working on different microphones.
We are. So
we've got these big ones that we're going to get connected up.
We're going to try and get connected up. We're also going to, at some point, have a load more buttons to press so that we can interact a bit more. Oh, if the sound's good, that's pretty good. Oh, that's fine. I was making sure she hadn't missed a chunk because of the sound, but she's missed a chunk because she was on the school run lesson.
Oh, you have to watch it again. Oh.
But if the sound's good, and you guys are happy, we're open to suggestions. You know where to reach us if you've got any suggestions, so
yes.
Fire away. We'll be clipping certain bits as well, hopefully, so that we can post them everywhere so you get like little tidbits as well.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's been really good.
Podcast
Thank you so much for staying here with us.
Yes.
We've had a really good time.
For putting up with us.
For putting up with us, essentially, and for putting up with the cats.
Yes,
although you haven't had to smell them,
no.
so there is.
This might be the last time the cats are allowed in this room.
It might be, to be fair, because that smell was awful.
That wasn't a nice one, and
really
especially because I was so thirsty. And these are wild cats. These are the wild cats that we found that, for whatever reason, just will not leave us now.
No. I think we should get some LWP cups with straws in. I'd like that.
I think we've got them.
I think we have.
Yeah, we've got some of them. We'll bring them up here.
Yeah.
That's okay.
You're right, Win.
Right, guys,
okay.
we're going to disappear. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
Get ready for podcast number 2. I have to remember what I've said now.
That's fine. We're starting off with you've bought the place.
Right. There's always 100 other stories, aren't there, in between?
There is. Like, there's a lot of your earlier life that we still not even touched on.
No, so there's lots of things.
There's only so much we can do in one day.
Yes, and we'll just keep going. Thank you very much, guys. I don't know how many buttons to press.
You're going to press those 2.
Right. Thank you very much.
Right.
Take care, everybody. See you later. We will actually have better access.
We will.
Because this tree's going to get knocked over now. Unfortunately. See you all later, guys. Thank you.
It's top corner in that one. Bye. And then just leave the screen. That's it. Don't touch it. And then that one. Bye. Okay. And then this one. Oh. Where's my button? There. Bye.
Bye-bye.